Nobody's ever going to tell me to do something I don't want to do. The stuff that happened at 9 ties directly into the body dysmorphia I've had my entire life. I have always seen myself, and even now, I see myself as disgusting. I see myself the way my 4th grade teacher, I don't want to give her name, saw me. That look on her face and the thing that she said must be true. Here's an adult who is in charge of me, who I spend 5-6 hours a day with. So if she's saying it, this has to be true. Now, that's not part of my core values. That's part of my core beliefs. Your core values are immutable. They come to you in childhood, your parents instill them and whatnot. And even as you grow, you can add more, they're what you stand for, what you believe in. Your core beliefs are completely different. That's the truth or the untruth that you tell yourself constantly. So my entire life, I've seen myself the way my 4th grade teacher saw me, the way the teenager at the top of the water slide saw me. And, those of you who have seen me over the years, I've had a lifelong battle with my weight that's gone up and down. At top weight, I was 330 pounds. Today, I stand here at 180 pounds. But 150 pounds later, gone, I still see a fat 9-year-old kid because that's all those two people saw. And I minimize that my entire life, as people are doing as they watch this right now. Like, I was called fat when I was a kid. Well, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that happened to you. And I hope it didn't affect you the way that it affected me deeply and shaped who I became. Literally, sometimes physically shaped who I became. I became a people pleaser. The kind of person that will be anything you need him to be and do anything you want him to do. Just don't call me fat. Just don't recognize how disgusting and repugnant I am. Let me distract you with jokes and entertainment. So at age 9, I start building, for lack of a better description, that Kevin Smith, the public presentational version of myself. I refer to him affectionately as the other guy. I started building the other guy because no one's ever going to say something like that to me again. I'll beat them to it. Like, you can't call me fat because I'm going to call myself fat first. The other guy got me all the way through grammar school, through high school, all the way up into my early 20s until I fell in love with film and suddenly realized that, maybe I can make some art or something. Now, this much I know. Me, the authentic Kevin Smith, made Clerks, not the other guy. The other guy came online as an adult once Clerks was accepted and bought. I was 23. I made a little black and white movie with my friends, the first thing I ever made. The human brain doesn't stop growing till age 26. So to this unformed brain full of self-esteem issues and self-loathing is introduced a world going, hey, we like what you did. That was great. I mean, this is something that happened back in high school and grade school as well. Anytime I was on stage and performing, people clap, people laugh, and nobody was saying, ew, you're disgusting, you're fat. So I leaned into that very heavily. And in September, something happened in my life right before we were about to start the convenience tour, Clerks 3 convenience tour. And we had like a 94% sell-through or something like that, and 52 cities to go to with thousands of people to see. And I didn't have time to take care of my mental health. I just had to go. Like so many of us in life, we have so many things to do. Some of us have multiple jobs, and we power through. We've been taught to just power through, get to the other side, fake it until you can make it. So at that point, I kind of put the other guy completely in charge and let him run the show. And that's because all of my self-worth, all of my value, my validation has never come from inside of me. Historically, I have not been able to validate myself. I needed you. I needed him, her. I needed an external force to tell me, you're worthy, you're good, there's nothing wrong with you. Or oh, you're great at what you do, and we haven't noticed that you're fat in 10 minutes or something. I got the bright idea years ago to go from being a filmmaker, because if I'm a filmmaker, I can get compared to other filmmakers. You know, there are other people that direct like me, and some of them direct better according to others. And naturally, if you're graded against somebody, you know, it's easy to be judged. Epictetus, one of the Stoics, had said something to the effect of, if you want to win, enter a competition in which you are the sole contestant. I'm kind of paraphrasing that. And so at that point, I was like, oh, I will become myself for a living. My job will be me. And the other guy went from being something I would pull out and put on stage to being on 24/7. The dumb thing about making yourself your job, kids, is that the moment you wake up, you're working until the moment you go to sleep. And I burned out over time because you need a rest. Add to this my codependency. I am an incredibly, insanely codependent person. That's the people pleasing. If you need help, my hands instantly go on my hips. What can I do? I go into hero mode, hero complex mode. I can solve your problems because I can't solve mine. So it's much easier for me to focus on you. Then I don't have to think about me and my I can think about you. You know, in that way, you tend to be somebody that people, with intention or not, use up. And we only have so many resources. You know, I've heard that expression like, hey man, you got to fill your own cup. You got to keep the cup filled. My cup was empty. Over time, a lifetime of codependency, professionally and personally, I gave it all out and eventually ran dry until there was no sense of me left. I opened up the other guy about a month ago, looking for me, for the authentic Kevin Smith, the real Kevin Smith. And I was terrified to find out that I wasn't there. There was nobody running the show. And I was scared beyond belief that either the authentic me had just off because he was so bored with what I had become and what I'd done with myself, or even worse, that the other guy had burned the authentic me for fuel to get as far as we got. And at that moment, I realized I needed help. I have never really loved myself. I abjectly loathe myself. I love the other guy. The other guy is my creation, is the creation of a 9-year-old, perfected to the point where I was able to inhabit the other guy for a living and let the other guy do everything while I sat back and watched, you know, as a passenger in my own life. And that's not healthy by any stretch of the imagination. What they taught me at Sierra Tucson, Sean Battle, my process group therapist, who was wonderful, Dr. Falk, Kelly, they taught me to be mindful, to be in the moment, to breathe. Really comes down to just breathing, because this is a mind bender. When you breathe, you know you're here in the moment. You know you're right here and right now. You cannot breathe in the past. It's impossible. And you cannot breathe into the future. Breathing grounds you. It makes you mindful. It puts you right here. Why does one need to be mindful? Because this is fraught with peril. Because the amygdala perceives everything as a threat. You know, you're at work and you're like, hi, to somebody, and they don't say hi. Instantly, the thoughts start racing. Well, what's wrong with me? What did I do? Is that person mad at me? Sometimes it's just for being preoccupied. But we don't think of it that way because our minds race. Our thoughts wander because that's what thoughts do. One of the most dangerous addictions isn't alcohol, it isn't drugs. It's thinking, because we can't stop it. And most of our thoughts are negative because most of us believe the worst about ourselves, whether it's something that was said to us in childhood, somebody being like, oh, you're stupid. That's something you carry with you for the rest of your life.